Okay, should be live. I want to make sure that it's not live for everybody because that is the point of these. And unlisted. All right, cool. I think we're good on that front. So here we go. This is the third Patreon exclusive live stream or member only live stream. So this is going to be the April 2023 one. And yeah, so as these go, I usually end up kind of talking to nobody for a period of time, although I do see one person. It says one viewer. I don't know who it is, or I don't think I have it open in a tab or anything like that anywhere. I think we're going to I have my laptop set up to the side because I'm going to be doing a slideshow presentation like I do for these Patreon member exclusive streams. So should be fun here. So it's kind of bittersweet as well because it is the only second time that I've done it in the dorm and the last time that I'm going to be doing it from the dorm because 2 weeks from today I'm graduating. But at the time that this is uploaded publicly, because I have uploaded the last two, or I've at least made the last two public, I will be doing that for this one sometime in May. It will definitely be a Patreon exclusive thing for at least a month, but obviously also going to just be right now the only way that you can actually interact with it. So got some stuff I want to talk about here tonight. As per usual, I always handle these or I approach these as if people are, as if people are watching even if there is nobody, although I do see right now Comics 1017 just popped up in the chat. Congrats on your graduation. Thank you. I'm terrified, quite frankly. So it's literally 2 weeks from right now, because I also move out of the dorm on the same day. I'll be moving out of this place and back to my house for the foreseeable future. And yeah, it's nerve-wracking. I can't believe that it's already been 4 years. This is already going to be over. I can't even wrap my head around that. I'm looking forward to it too because, and as I'm going to kind of start tonight's topics with, there's a lot of content things that I want to make that I just have not been able to make because some of it's difficult to do so when my collection is split in two. I have some of my collection here, obviously with like all my Geek stuff and everything right here. And then some of it, or most of it, back at home, of course. So also, as I just noticed, I didn't turn the fans off. So I apologize if that's making the noise really terrible. It's just, it gets really hot in the dorm. And so, I don't want to turn off the fans. I turn them off when I'm recording, an actual video that I'm going to be editing and stuff like that. But this is a little bit more, not unprofessional, but, usually these live streams are a little bit more casual. So, Comic said, I teach at a college, so I have to go to graduation every year. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've it's going to be a busy time, too, because I have my personal, obviously, graduation, but then my sister is going to be graduating high school, 2 weeks after that. And then she took college classes, throughout high school, so she's going to have, a college graduation as well, a week after my graduation, and a week after my graduation is my birthday. So May is going to be very, very busy and a lot of changes, with my family. So it's just going to be, it's going to be nuts. And, oh, my calendar is moving. Yeah, fair. Cool. I'm glad because did I leave my window a little cracked open too? Okay, I did close that at least because there's a highway. Also, this chair, I've noticed I'm falling in it. It's doesn't stay up anymore, but there's a highway right outside the window, so it makes that quite annoying. Every time I'm editing, I hear motorcycles or beeps of cars or all that nonsense outside. It drives me nuts because I can't really do anything about it. That'll also be one thing about going back to the house, that there'll be a lot less noise pollution between, I live with 3 other roommates in this dorm, so there's always some noise through the walls or something sometimes, or just existence around here is noisy. Also, this room has really high ceilings, so sound is really kind of echoey in here. So there are some benefits to not be making videos in this room anymore, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I loved the neon sign back there. Not that I can't bring that home, obviously, but my room at home is has these curved in walls and also has textured all over the walls. So it makes it really hard to hang anything up. And I have no idea where I'm going to put the sign. So, I mean, you guys have seen my home setup. It's the one where it has the Zenkai Jiren Dawn Brothers stuff behind me. And it has that one wooden door with the dry erase board that has the Ranger key drawn on it from a year ago. And that's the exact setup that I'm going to be returning to. I'm going to just be that's the only place that my computer can really fit in the dorm or at the house. So I need to figure out a way to get the sign over there, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. So But yeah, I mean, these streams have been a lot of fun. What's really nice about this stream as well is that it's been great to have a sort of a just break in case of emergency kind of thing for me to get a video out on the channel if it's going to be really difficult to do so. I'm trying to, adhere to the video schedule as much as possible with the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. But as I posted a couple weeks ago, or a little over a week ago at the time of this, on my community tab, that I'm going to just not worry about it that much until June. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try to follow it. In fact, I actually think I'm going to be able to follow it pretty good. I was planning out videos yesterday, I think, or yesterday or Thursday. I broke down a lot of videos. I figured out there's a couple more videos that I really do want to film here just for consistency and also just for sake of convenience, I guess, basically. So I think I have 3 more videos I need to film over there at that table before that table has been retired. And it will take a little bit until like the dorm location is fully phased out on the channel, because obviously this stream is going to go live in like a month publicly for everybody. So like that will be well after I'm gone from here. And then also there will be the Patreon exclusive videos like the Dino Charge figure video the other day. That one will be going up publicly in May once I'm also gone, and obviously I filmed that over there. And there's another Patreon exclusive video that I've already filmed. I just have to edit it. That was filmed over there too. So I'd say that the dorm location will make some brief appearances on the channel up until like June, but by that point it will be fully phased out. I think there actually might be one thing that I filmed on the here in the dorm that I can't make public yet for a specific reason, but that's not mine. That's not my channel to talk about. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to that. That will probably be the final dorm video, and I'll explain that later. But as I like to do with these streams here, first of all, huge thanks, Comics, for being, as of right now, the only person in the chat. So I hope you're having a great night. Basically, I have my little live stream presentation pulled up here, which I should probably bring up here. No, not that. This button. There we go. So Comic said I checked to see if I had any of the Dino Charge figures that you needed, but I guess I got rid of them years ago and forgot. Oh, no problem. Like I've been trying to I bought a lot of stuff. So let me actually come back to this. So I bought a lot of packages recently for videos. I got a lot of cool things planned for June, basically, because May is going to be not. I wouldn't say May's autopilot, but as I just said, May is so busy that a lot of the videos in May are either being recorded now, so I can just get them done a little easier, or they're going to be just kind of relatively easy things to do, stuff like that. But I do have a lot of packages on the way. I have the next 4 project unlocks planned out. They're all themed, kind of, so that's going to be really interesting. And I got some other stuff in the works, but I got a lot of packages. But the reason why I said that is in relation to your comments, is that I did get a Vivix the other day, which that's another thing too, is that all of these packages are being shipped to my house and not the dorm anymore, because I don't want anything to like get delayed and not make it here in time. So there's a Vivix waiting for me at home, and then in my next buy box, which I never would have expected this to have a Dino Charge figure, but on Japanese Macari, I found Dino Drive Green for like $14, and that's kind of I try to pay as much if I can, like 15 to 20 per Dino Charge figures. That's kind of what I try to aim for. But it was a brand new sealed Dino Drive Green, and so that would be the first Dino Drive that I have. So we're slowly, chiseling away at that backlog of those. But that you said, definitely jealous of the male purple. Yeah, that was just a complete fluke. My buddy Corey, who I do Geek Each Week with, if you're not familiar, he just had that. I forget where he said he got it, but he had that back in 2019. And Kyoryu Violet has always been, aside from Silver, my favorite of the Kyoryu suits. So I really, really wanted that figure. I don't have Kendall's figure still, but at least I have. Oh, shoot. I had his name. Oh, no. I lost his name. Alvin? That's not his name. You know, the dude, the purple male ranger. But here we go. So there is some things I want to talk about here. So as I always do with these Patreon live streams, I kind of just talk as if people are watching, since I am going to make them public. And then, I just let people in the chat kind of guide the conversation. But I also have things to guide the conversation if, nobody else shows up. But, if it's just me and Comics here chilling, that's cool. That's all good too. But I do have some things I'd like to address. And I always like to start with channel updates. But basically the points of these is that it's always channel updates. And then also it is just stuff that is not going to be a video. If it is going to be a video, then I won't cover it. And also, the intention here is that if I wanted to cut some of this out to make it its own video, like I did last month when I released the Okuagata Ojer Toku Talks, which was pulled from the February-March stream, then I can do so. But first of all, this. So we'll start with channel updates here. So this is a screenshot of my Once and Always Week playlist. And basically, I just wanted to bring this up because, first of all, as you can see, there's a 5th video there. What other Power Ranger seasons need a Once and Always special that has no views because it's not public yet. It is available for Patreon members. So Patreon members got that or had access to that as of this past afternoon. It will be up on the channel tomorrow afternoon. And that will be the end of my Once and Always content. So if people were getting sick of that, I mean, by this point, it will have been like a month if you're seeing this, that I'm done with the content here. But I wanted to do 5 videos for Once and Always. And also what I like to do with these streams is kind of just give you guys some behind the scenes behind my thought processes of making videos and also my approach to this kind of stuff. And I got to say, Once and Always, Albert, that's what it was. I knew it was an A somewhere, and I was like, Alvin's not right. Albert, that's right. So, but I knew I wanted to make 5 Once and Always videos, and I didn't anticipate how burnt out I would make myself between schoolwork and channel work, and so I was really stressed about trying to get this done, and it did not go the way that I wanted it to go. Well, I mean, it went perfectly fine once I restructured it a little bit, because the initial plan, which is what I put out a community post for before I deleted that in a tweet, was that I was going to do 5 Once and Always videos Monday, April 17th through Friday, April 21st, I think. Does that how the dates work? Yeah, April 21st. I would have done it the 17th to the 21st. And the plan that I always had was Monday was going to be the top 5 things I was excited for in anticipation of the special. Tuesday was going to be the video that you guys are going to see tomorrow. And then Wednesday was going to be the reaction. Thursday was going to be the review. Friday was going to be the extra episode of Lightning Storm. So as you can see, I still got 4/5 of those videos done. I just did them in a different order and not within a span of 5 consecutive days. And I got rid of the top 5 things I was anticipating. And also I added the Toku theory because I did not know that they were going to address Zordon in the special, or a potential resurrection of Zordon in the special. So I think it worked out a little bit, like I said, not how I intended, but I think it worked out pretty well in the end. I got the reaction out on the day that the special released, and then I took a couple days to let my thoughts collect and be able to rewatch the special again to do the review. So that's why that one came out a couple days afterward. I was able to get the Lightning Storm done pretty easily, and I figured it worked well to have a regular Lightning Storm on the Saturday and then that extra one last Sunday. And the Toku theory I put together earlier this week, and then this the other season's one I think turned out pretty good. So, like I said, it's already up for Patreon members right now, and then it's going public tomorrow. I think it's probably my favorite of the 5, except for the Lightning Storm one. I really liked that one. I made that really, really ridiculous Merrick comic in it that I was really proud of. Nobody really seemed to comment on the Merrick comic, but I thought it was funny. So, but I digress. Once and Always Week is done. So that has dominated the channel basically for the last 2 weeks. I think there was that Geets figure art video that I dropped in the middle of it, but in regular Lightning Storms. But besides that, this has pretty much been the channel's content for the last 2 weeks. But another reason why I wanted to bring it up is that it did really well. It did very well. So I'm really, really happy with how all of these videos have done. And it was a lot of fun to get to make so much content out of the special. But I totally get if people are sick of hearing about it, and I wouldn't say I'm sick of I wouldn't say I'm sick of talking about it, but I definitely have talked about it a lot. So I'm good with moving on from it for the time being. But this was fun. This was a lot of fun. So I wanted to go ahead and bring that up. And then for Patreon stream members here, here's a little hint. Here's a little tease of what's coming. So I like a lot to make thumbnails in advance. I just think it's a fun thing to do. It also gives me kind of an incentive to actually go ahead and make the video. And also sometimes I make a bad thumbnail and then I go, oh, I thought that looked good. Let's give that a second go. And so sometimes I need to just get that bad idea out before I'm like, oh no, I got a better one. But here is my thumbnail folder of videos that do not exist yet. And this isn't all of them. I made probably a good 10-15 thumbnails this past week for videos that I have planned from now to August. Some of these are actually August videos that I'm planning. So I want to talk about that and kind of tease a little bit of this. But Comics did say, had to watch Once and Always at work the day it came out because I was going on a trip and finally watched it again today at home. I was finally able to focus on it. Yeah, that's fair because like I stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it right when it dropped. I didn't want the chance for any spoilers. I knew I was too excited for it to like be able to sleep, so I knew I was just gonna watch it. And then it was nice because I was able to watch it and then get going on the content. And then a couple days later, I watched it with my roommate Keyshawn, and I was able to like kind of really sit down and be like, cool, I've already seen it. This is just just a second viewing for me to kind of get some notes about things I want to cover in the review and all that kind of stuff. So it was worth it. I definitely think it's worth multiple watches. But here we have 4 videos, and the reason why I specifically picked these 4 videos thumbnails to show you guys when there are some videos that I'm cutting off at the top and the bottom is that I figured this was kind of a good balance because some of these videos of this 4 are coming really soon, and some of them are absolutely not. So the first one, Forgotten But Found, that will be a review of the Mighty Novel X and Bang Bang Tank Gatchat set from Commodore XA. That video has already been filmed. That is the next Patreon exclusive video, which I should be able to get out for Patreon members sometime this week. It shouldn't take me too long to edit that one. So that's that one. Then we have the first 5 years. Now that is a video that is going to be a scripted content video. I am working on more scripted content, which excites me because I think my scripted content is my best content, and I think it's always really rewarding to finish something scripted than not scripted. So I'm really excited to be working on more scripted content, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm excited about for post-graduation is that I'm going to have a lot more time to work on scripted content, and so I'm actually very, very excited to be able to see what I can pull off with that time. So, but the first one here, or one of the first ones of scripted content, or for new scripted content, is going to be this video. And essentially, I started writing this past week. I'm a couple pages into it. I'm not sure exactly how long the script is going to be. It's just going to kind of be as long as I feel like it needs to be. But I wanted to kind of just do a little retrospective analysis, basically, of the Hasbro era of Power Rangers so far, because this Monday, May 1st, will be the 5th anniversary of when Hasbro outright bought the franchise from Saban. And I think it's been a very interesting and a very decisive and somewhat problematic, but also very interesting 5 years for this franchise. And I really just kind of want to look back on it and be like, what were some of the initial promises and where are we at with the current point of the franchise? I think there's a lot of positive things to talk about. I think there's a lot of negative things to talk about. And so I kind of wanted to explore just kind of where we're at with that. So that video is going to be out. So if I would have done this correctly, it should have been out May 1st because that is the 5th anniversary. And I've had this idea for months, and then I did not realize how soon that I would have had to get that video done. So thankfully there's a backup plan, and that was June 12th, 2018 was when Hasbro like finalized the deal. They like initiated the deal on May 1st, but they finalized it on June 12th. So my deadline is June 12th. I intend on, and I'm actually going to check that right now because I didn't ever actually look at what day of the week June 12th is. Oh, perfect. Okay, so June 12th is a Monday. So unless something really weird happens or I just don't, have the motivation to finish it, that video will be out on Monday, June 12th. So that's when that will be. Then the third video thumbnail here is trying to figure out how much I should give away with this. That one's not going to be super exciting. It's not going to be that complicated. But what it's a part of, I think it's going to be really interesting. And it's something really big that I'm working on in the background, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Same thing kind of with the fourth one. So the fourth one, I just think, first of all, is a cool thumbnail. If anybody knows exactly what that is, I don't really know what else to say with it because there's also a lot of fun things. I said I've been buying a lot of stuff too. That's a clue. That's a clue towards what this video is, but that's a video that I think will be really interesting, and I really can't wait to see what the reception is to that one. But that's kind of just a little tease of some stuff that I'm working on. And then, of course, funnily enough, the two thumbnails that it's cutting off at the bottom down there are Monday and Friday's videos for this upcoming week. So you're going to see those very soon. And the two thumbnails that it's cutting off at the top are for Shoto Super reviews that are going to be coming eventually. I really don't know. Those ones are kind of what I like to call kind of back burner videos. They're videos that don't take too much time to make, can kind of come out anytime, and they're just kind of videos that, like, when I need a video out, go. So Comic said, "Oh, I know what that picture is." All right. So yeah. It is something. And if I can execute this video in the way that I want to, it might be one of the most anticipated, or might be one of my best videos. There's something I really want to do with that. There's a very certain objective that I would like to achieve with that. So we'll see how that goes. But one other thing I'm very excited to say, and move to the next slide for. So I've kind of teased this a little bit. People have guessed in the right ballpark, but they haven't guessed it fully. But as of this morning, I was working on it. I finished the first draft of the script for the next episode of Toku Toy Lines, which I am definitely trying my best to be a video that I release in June. In terms of my 2 big scripted content videos for June, which will be Toku Toy Lines episode 5, and that Hasbro video I just talked about. The Hasbro video does take top priority because that one actually has a deadline that I want to hit for it. However, like I said, I finished the first draft of the script today, so in the scripting process, this one's further along. But I'd like to announce officially that the next episode of Toku Toy Lines is going to be none other than Kamen Rider Gaim's Arms Change line. So this is something that I'm really happy to cover for this series. Toku Toy Lines is my favorite series by far to make. It just takes so much time to make it, but it's a series that's pretty much exactly what I envisioned for it to be. I've only been able to make 4 episodes so far, but out of all of those episodes, half of those 4 are in my top 5 most viewed videos ever, and the other 2 are in the top 30. So, like, this series is clearly something that people really like, which I love that people like that a lot. I can't wait to make another episode. And I told myself there was no way, and I've known for a while that I was going to do this one as episode 5, and I have at least 5 or 6 more ideas picked out. I don't know which one would be next necessarily. I have maybe a slight idea which one I want to do for episode 6, but that's not for this. But I knew that I wanted to do Arms Change for the next one, and I told myself I couldn't start writing the script until I completed the Super Mega Force Ranger Keys one finally, and I finally did that at the beginning of April. That video is finally out for people. It's doing really well. It's, as of right now, become my 4th. It's about to become my 3rd most viewed video ever. That's amazing. It really shows me that you guys like this series, and I'm so hyped to do more of it. So Gaim Arms Change line, that's the next video in this series. It's obviously not covering the entirety of the Gaim toy line, so we're not going to be talking about lock seeds or belts or weapons or anything like that. It's going to be specifically the Arms Change figure line, because I think it was just something really special. It's also really sentimental to me because that figure right in the center, Orange Arms Gaim, number 1 in the line, was my very first Kamen Rider product that I ever bought back in 2013. And with it being the 10th anniversary of Gaim and this line in general, I figured this would be a good pick for this. So as I said, I'm currently trying to get this video out as a June video. It very well could be a July video. It's definitely not going to be a May video, but I definitely intend on getting one out in June because I would like to also possibly get one out in August if I could. I'm not going to commit to saying that like Toku Toy Lines would be like a bi-monthly series because I don't think that's realistic. But I definitely don't want them to take like 14-month gaps like the last 2 did. So we're back on track with this, hopefully. And this is one of the things that, with like I said earlier, with time and everything post-graduation, hopefully this will allow for more time to work on these and get them done a little faster. So that's it for channel updates. That's all I really got on that front. Though I do have some news, of course, to kind of cover. A lot of this is old news. Some of it's new news. And these are just things that are not going to be talked about in videos specifically because they just don't fit or I just don't have the time to cover them. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Hyperforce Unlimited issue coming up for the comics. That's awesome. That's kind of the main thing I want to say, first of all. So this actually got announced on Once and Always Day on April 19th. Completely did not expect something like this. I think this is really cool. Now, personally, I've never seen Hyperforce. Each episode's like 3 hours long, and I just don't have the time or the attention span to sit down and watch it. Although I do intend on having it on as like background noise over the summer, because over the summer I'd have to like unpack everything, and then my room is a complete disaster. It's been a complete disaster for like 2.5 years. So I really want to sort everything out. I just want to pack things up and like organize things correctly. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to probably listen to Hyperforce in the background because I've always wanted to know the story of it. And I know that it's been a big fan favorite thing. People have wanted a season 2 forever. People want them in the Lightning Collection. They've had comic appearances before. They appeared in Shattered Grid. I think that might be it. I know that they've appeared in there, and they've appeared in Legacy Wars, the video game. But this is really sweet. So they're getting their own dedicated comic issue, one of the unlimited one-shots. So we have the main cover that has the main 5 of them, and we have this secondary cover that has Chloe and Alpha 55. It's so cool. And also, in my opinion, them becoming or them getting their own comic gives them a better chance of eventually, hopefully, getting Lightning Collection figures. I haven't heard anything about that ever happening for this team. I've always wanted it to happen, but I feel like not that like where they were in the franchise with like just being in the RPG series and in a video game didn't mean that they wouldn't make figures of them. I mean, clearly we've gotten figures based off of a video game specifically in the past with the Street Fighters. So it's not like it would be impossible for Hyperforce to get figures before. I just think that with a brand new comic and then now having yet another medium that they're kind of the focus of, it could potentially give that chance a little bit more merit to it. So I love this a lot. I can't wait to see what this issue has. It does take place after the series, so I do need to definitely watch that series and just kind of familiarize myself with these characters and this storyline. But that's awesome. I think it's really, really, really cool. I love when we get comics like this where they are not inherently Mighty Morphin connected. You can have Mighty Morphin ties to them, of course. I mean, Alpha 55 is sort of a Mighty Morphin tie because it's just an Alpha unit. So, like, this is cool. This is awesome. This is what I like the comics doing. This is what I like the franchise doing. And I don't know what else to say. I'm really happy with it. And as comic said, I know very little about Hyperforce, but I've heard good things for sure. And yeah, same thing. I've heard some really amazing things with it. I've heard that it's just a really fun watch. That the characters are just really lovable, and that the team there at was it Renegade Studios that did they do like the board game and everything, but Hyper RPG that put together Hyperforce a couple years ago. I've heard just nothing but good things about it, so I think this is really cool. And then speaking of the comics as well, I wanted to talk about this briefly. This happened like in February. This is really old, but I wanted to bring it up because it's weird. So, like, this is sort of like them redoing, and I'm not going to talk about this for very long at all, but this is like them redoing the comics that they did 5 years ago, where they had like they had the Mighty Morphin Ranger of each color in the center, and then around them it had all of that color, except for some cases where, like, I think like for the Gold Ranger cover, for example, had Zeo Gold because he was the first Gold Ranger, that had all Gold Rangers around him, and then like Silver, I think, had In Space Silver, and like Silver's all around it. So like, it's kind of like that, but I'm conflicted about this because, like, I don't think these covers look bad, but they're missing Rangers and the art is just kind of weird. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, there's this one Ranger on the green one. I'm trying to get a better look at it. Like, in between Mike and Joel, there's this weird Green Ranger that some people think is like Mido Ninja from Ninja, which would be really strange. And like, I said this on Twitter like a month ago or so, but some of this almost feels like just the way that it's drawn. It almost kind of feels like some of it's almost AI generated art or something, which is just very bizarre. I don't know. Like, I like the idea and the style of this, but I don't like the execution of it. And I assume that we're going to get other ones of this. I think we've only seen green and blue so far. And as for kind of a follow-up or kind of a different interpretation of those Forever covers, those Forever colors, as I assume that they're kind of referred to, like Forever Green, Forever Blue, I think the original ones did a lot better. These ones obviously are more updated. They have Dino Fury, and I don't even think that I'm pretty sure the 2018 ones didn't even have Beast Morphers, and I think this one does. Do I see blue on there? I don't even know if Beast Morphers blue is on here because there wouldn't be a green. So like, it's kind of hard. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Some of the Rangers get really lost in there, and like, it's just these ones. I really want to collect the original Forever covers. These ones are definitely going to be a pass for me. I just don't think they're all that amazing. But then the last thing I want to talk about, which honestly this probably should have become a Toku Talks video, but unfortunately it just did not fit in with the schedule, so that's why it just didn't happen. But this is a weird one. So Simon Bennett, this was back in March, I think, as well, or maybe really early April. He posted this picture of Robo Minotaur on his Instagram. But in the background, and also like to the side, there were monsters from other Sentai seasons, but specifically from other Sentai seasons that we are not adapting. There was one Q Ranger monster or Q Ranger monster piece. If I remember correctly, I think the one that's like you can see the body of, I think was a Q Ranger monster. But then in the background on the shelf, like by the horn, you can see Bungley's face from Zyuohger. And then there's I think, if I remember correctly, there's another head or something there. And that was from a Lupin Ranger versus Pata Ranger monster. And I might be getting the Q Ranger and Lupat ones mixed around. Now, this is, if there was any video that I would like trim out of today's news and kind of put as its own thing, it would probably be this, because this is really, really fascinating to me that Simon did this, or that. Well, I mean, I'm sure it was an intentional little tease because, like, obviously he would probably obviously know what's behind him when he takes these pictures. But I'm very curious what this means, because if this is what I think that it would mean, I assume that would mean that he is, or that they are using monsters from multiple Sentai seasons in Cosmic Fury, which would be cool. But I'm just very curious how that would work. Like the Kyuranger one makes sense. I'm not sure. I don't remember which Kyuranger monster that is, nor do I remember the context of like what that monster would be in. And actually, let me try to find it, because we're doing a kind of a casual stream anyway. So let's just do it. But I feel like the last time somebody looked up what this monster was, it actually was a monster from Kyuranger that could be like from an episode that would be somewhat important, and maybe we'll find that out here. So I'm on the Dark Matter page on the Ranger Wiki. I know this is one of the monsters of the week, so let's try to find him here, wherever he may be, and try not to take too long with this because I don't want to just be sitting here clicking for a while. But let's see, what monster are you? And I hope that I'm remembering it correctly. This was the one that has the body was actually a Kyuranger monster and not the Lupat monster. It might have been the Lupat monster. I don't recall. But we're clicking through monsters and we're still... I don't see it yet. I probably should have just found like the tweet that the Legion of Boom posted about, because that would probably help us more, honestly. But basically, as I'm going to just keep ranting about it or kind of just stalling while I try to find that tweet, because I definitely should have just brought that up beforehand. But if they're using Bungly, that would be really, really cool, because that is my favorite. Oh, Spider Kumanos' actor just got revealed. That's cool. That's breaking news. That just happened 20 minutes ago while I was recording this video. Anyway. Cool, I can include that in the next Toku Talks that I'm releasing on him. But regardless, I think that getting Bungly in Power Rangers would be really, really fun, because that is, like I said, one of my favorite Sentai villains like ever. And obviously, while it won't be like the character of Bungly or anything like that, I really like to see what they would do with that kind of character in Power Rangers, or just what the character would be in the franchise. Because like I don't know, like I mean, obviously I don't think that they would like use, like Zyuohger Mecha or anything like that. So it would be kind of interesting if they use that one battle, because there is the power that Bungly has, which is reviving, or not reviving, but he can revive past villains from like your memories and stuff like that. And there's that one fight with the Gokaigers actually, where he brought back a lot of previous villains or defeated villains or main villains from previous Sentai seasons. So there's like this group shot that has like Enter, which was Blaze from Beast Morphers, and it has Master Xandrid, and it has like Vrock, and it has someone else in there I think that we used. Escape might have been in there. I might be wrong about that. And then there's also was that it? That might have been it. Yeah, maybe that's it. But regardless, there's some that you could use. Yes. Okay. So I was looking for a monster that was not from Kyuranger. I found the Legion tweet. So we're gonna go ahead and share my screen for that. Yeah. So impromptu Legion tweet. So yeah. So the tweet was posted on, or the Instagram post was March 26th. And so this is obviously old, but Legion posted that it was Bungly's head, and then it was Jumosu from Kyuranger. So this dude, which is, his head was right there next to this picture on Simon's picture. And then we had this guy, which was from Lupat. So if we go and if we stop sharing, I completely I stopped the entire screen share, didn't I? And got rid of the picture. So if we go to the Ranger Wiki, and I mean, this is probably just reading too much into it. But if we go to the Ranger Wiki, this dude. Oh wait, I was wrong. Once again, I was wrong. So this guy is the one who was the monster body standing next to Minotaur's face. So he was used in episode 37 of Kyuranger, which was the debut of Super Kurino's 3-4-6-9 combination. 3-4. So they used red, yellow, blue, gold, silver, red, yellow, sky blue, gold, silver, red, yellow, blue, gold, silver. So that would mean maybe a probable chance. I mean, granted, just because they're going to use the monster suit, or maybe they're not even going to use that, but that would maybe mean that we are going to at least get that Super Kurino combination. If they're going to use the mecha battle for him, that would maybe say that we're going to at least get that Zord. So, like I said, that's reading probably way too much into it. They probably just got the suits sent to them from Toei or from Plex or whatever. But it's just kind of interesting to sort of try to dissect it and kind of figure out, because I did that video a couple months ago where I tried to figure out, or I kind of tried to guess, like, what episodes of Kyuranger could we use due to the fact that we know that they're using the footage for mecha battles from Kyuranger to an extent. I think Simon said something somewhat recently that they're actually also going to be making or using CGI, I think maybe in some capacity, or they're not going to always use Kyuranger footage for that, but they're obviously going to use the Kyuranger mecha. So lots of really interesting stuff there. I did not expect to see a picture with Power Rangers villains with also like Zyuohger, Lupat, and Kyuranger stuff. So it could be some weird hodgepodge of a bunch of Sentai villains from a bunch of different Sentai seasons. It wouldn't be the first time we had like a Tokuger monster appear in Dino. Was it Dino Charger? No, it was I think it was Dino Charger. It was a Cureliner as one of Sledge's monsters, and then there was also, of course, Cosmo Royale. Is that his name or whatever? The Baron Nero suit that we kind of took and made something new for Ninja Steel. So yeah, I don't know. I think it was really interesting. There was a lot of Cosmic Fury stuff that has happened somewhat recently, and even by recent, I mean like a month ago, like Illuminati leaks that claim that Heckle's coming back to be the Dino Charge Dark Ranger in the show and actually going to get to morph. And a rumor or a leak from them, or a special exclusive report, I guess, from them that claims that we're going to see Fern as an Orange Ranger in Cosmic Fury. So lots of really interesting things for the series, and especially after seeing Once and Always. That's why I did that theory video about how I could kind of connect into it. I'm very, very fascinated in seeing what we could get for Cosmic Fury out of this. And so that's kind of all I really have to say for it. But I think there's a lot of really interesting things that could be in the works with this, and I just cannot wait to see this season. So I think that was a pretty good little segment from this Patreon live stream. So I definitely probably will clip this part and make it its own video, because I think that was actually somewhat good. Comics, you're the only person still in the chat. What'd you think? Would you think that was good enough to make us its own little video? I mean, just kind of analyzing the background of Simon's picture from like a month ago, essentially a little over a month ago. So I don't know, something I wanted to talk about there, and I never got a chance to make a Toku Talks for it, so I figured might as well cover it in the live stream before I completely forget about it, because I did mean to talk about the Cosmic Fury stuff in the last live stream, but then I just didn't. I just completely forgot. And also, I wasn't sure how much I should talk about it, because like the Illuminati stuff is like not confirmed, and it's a spoiler in a way, not really even in a way, it definitely is. So it's like, I don't know how much I should have talked about it or wanted to talk about it. And then also, my mind was just on Cosmic Fury, or it was on Once and Always stuff rather than Cosmic Fury stuff. So, but yeah, so I think either we're reading way too much into this picture, and it was just they have props sent to them, and whether or not they use them or not, who knows? Maybe Toei and Plex just like ships them a bunch of monsters and go, here, if you want them, use them. If you don't. But I just feel like it's kind of strange that this picture would have been posted with these monsters here. The only one I'd say for sure they're going to use is probably that Kyuranger monster, since we know they're using the mecha footage. But Bungley and the Lupat monster are just kind of strange additions to be here. So I think that covers it for Power Rangers news. So let's go ahead and dive into Sentai stuff and go from there. So we have this. So this is, even though I said like the point of these topics are stuff that I'm not going to be covering in their own dedicated videos or even mentioning in videos, this I am going to mention in a video somewhat, but not in its own video. So if you're watching Kinoger, and if you're watching the stream when it's public late in like a month, this is probably really, really old news, of course, but they are making, of course, the Oger Caliber Zero, the transformation device of Okuagata Oger. I love Okuagata Oger. I love Silver Rangers. I love the character that this is in the show. I love the suit design. I love the sword. I'm not buying it though, even though I really do want it. I'm not buying it because I just know that Bandai is going to pull their trickery again and release this as a Memorial Edition next year. There'll probably be a full size version of it, and I'll wait for that. And because I'm going to wait for that, that means they're probably not going to make a Memorial Edition, and then I'll track this down. But I feel like I have to wait at least a year for this and just see what happens and not pre-order it. So I'm not going to pre-order it, but it is really, really cool. It is available on Toku Collectibles. I think they had it for 120. It was at least 100. I think it was a little more than 100, but it looks awesome. I really do like it. You can summon the Kinoju Zero mecha, which they show off right there. That is a deluxe toy of Kinoju Zero, but they haven't put that out for pre-order yet. That will be going out for pre-order as a premium Bandai exclusive, but as of right now, they just kind of tease it here and be like, yeah, you guys know we're going to do it. Here's just a picture of it. So, but you can't order that one yet. But this is exactly what you think it would be. It has the transformation for Okuagata Oger. It has the summoning sound for Kinoju Zero. It has, I think, voice phrases and stuff. At least I presume that it does, because premium Bandai toys always do. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that's so obvious. That was so obvious to be a premium Bandai exclusive that when it just shows up, you're just kind of like, yeah, that's exactly what I expected it to be, and it does exactly what I expected it to do. So it's nothing here was a surprise. It went up last weekend for pre-order, and yeah, like I said, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to talk about it anyway. And the reason why I said it might come up in a video is because there was a big list of leaked premium Bandai stuff coming up, and I got to do a video for that. We're going to be doing that, I think, hopefully as Friday's video, if I schedule everything correctly. And so I was probably going to at least name drop this because I will be talking about Kinoju Zero in that, since that hasn't gone up for pre-order yet. And so by definition, or by showing that, I'm going to be showing this. So I'm not going to really dive into it even as much as I just talked about here for the last 2 or 3 minutes that I've talked about it. But it's a thing. It does exist. And so do these. So this is wild. And comics, I don't know how much you are invested in Kamen Rider stuff, so I won't be too long about this if you really don't care at all. But I wanted to talk about Kamen Rider Outsiders because this thing is just wild. And one of these things is really old, as per the theme of tonight's news, and one of these things is only 3 weeks old, so not that bad. But we have Kamen Rider Outsiders is doing this. It's that special on TTFC. It's been bringing back a ton of really random antagonist rider characters, giving them new forms or making them Kamen Riders, and it's been connecting so many shows together in the most convolutedly beautiful ways ever that I adore what this series is. I've heard it's a complete mess. I've actually personally haven't seen much of it other than certain clips of it, but it's the kind of complete chaos that I want and love from TTFC. They know how to bring their complete nonsense up to this franchise. So yeah, as Comic said, my knowledge of it stops at the Master Rider Power Rangers crossover. Very, very fair. But yeah, because this TTFC special, this Toei Tokusatsu Fan Club special, has tied together now Ryuki, Faiz, Blade kind of, Decade kind of, Drive, X-Ed, 01 Saber. So at least 8 shows have been connected because of this special, most of which don't have any right to be connected. They just do it anyway. But I just had to say something about it because this on the left we have Kamen Rider Disaster, which is taking a villain from Saber from 2 years ago and making him a rider, which looks really cool. And then we have, that was from episode 2, because they've been doing that too. So there's been 3 episodes so far, in episode 0 and episode 1 and episode 2, which I know is kind of confusing. But they've been released over the span of months. So the first one I think was in October or November. The second one was in January, and we just got the second episode, which was the third one. I know it's weird. Last month. And on the right here, we have Kamen Rider Bronze Drive. So in the show, in the series of Drive, we had a Gold Drive as the final villain for the show, and there was a Silver Drive in one of the DVD specials. So now we have a Bronze Drive because why not? Also, I don't think there was a single hint that Drive was going to be connected into this whole nonsense until they showed off the teaser for the next episode, which is where this is going to debut in, coming out in July. And they're just how about we throw Drive in there too? Because what Kamen Rider Outsiders has been doing, and I'm kind of explaining this for comics. What Outsiders has been doing is that over the last couple of years, there's been these specials on the Toei Tokusatsu Fan Club streaming service, where it's been spin-off specials for just a bunch of different random shows, and this has been going on for like nearly a decade. And for some reason, a lot of them end in cliffhangers. I don't know why they keep doing that, because they don't ever follow up on these specials. They just keep making more spin-off specials that just don't have any resolution to these cliffhangers. So for Outsiders, they said, okay, well, how about we do this? How about we make one brand new special that just is a free-for-all? We'll just bring everybody back, and they are resolving the cliffhangers, resolving, and I put in air quotes because they're just kind of doing more content. They're doing a series where it's going back to all of those older spin-offs and either following up with them or just kind of picking up where they left off. So there's just kind of complete chaos happening. So that's why there's 8 shows involved in this thing so far. I think it's so wonderfully terrible. It's incredible. So I mean, I very much appreciate the effort, or effort is also a strong word. I appreciate the thought of them going back to these specials and actually deciding to do something with it. But I swear, because the thing about this too is that since it's coming out every couple months, we have no idea actually how long this series is going to be. So like episode 1 was kind of the point of it was to sort of resolve a crossover spin-off special, which I know is a whole other thing, between X8 and 01 from like 2 years ago. So that resolved that, I think. I hope so. And then we had episode 1, which was the second episode. I sound crazy explaining this. And the first episode had a resolve to a X-Age special from like 2016. And now this episode 2, which remember is the third one, has a resolution for this character from Saber from 2 years ago. And now on the right here, we have Bronze Drive, which I'm personally hoping is going to be the resolution to a cliffhanger from a special from 2019. So I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. I don't even know if they know what they're doing. I know that Bandai knows what they're doing, because every time one of these episodes has come out, they've released new merchandise because they keep repainting things or they keep introducing new forms or characters. So I wouldn't say everybody wins, but kind of, because like Bandai makes more merch, fans get more content, and I guess you sort of get a resolution. So it's complete chaos. But I had to talk about it at some point, because I've never seen anything like it, where it's just so needlessly convoluted. It's fantastic. But yeah, as comics said, I definitely don't need to jump into this. Yeah, I don't even know where you would. Because like every special is assuming that you've A, seen the show that it's having a crossover with, and B, seen the special that it's sort of a sequel to. So yeah, that's Kamen Rider Outsiders, whatever that is. And then we have this. So this is the final thing I want to talk about here tonight, and that is Ultraman. Because every time I do an Ultraman video, it just doesn't do well. But since there was a whole new Ultraman show announced a couple weeks ago, I figured I might as well cover it a little bit. So we have Ultraman Blazer. That's going to be the next series here. We have the poster here on the left, and the main device, which if I remember correctly, was called the Blazer bracelet, which looks pretty cool. I see that Ultraman is taking a cue from Sentai Gears, because that's basically what these are. They look like Sentai Gears, essentially. But what's really cool about this is that, but it's also kind of weird. So from what I understand, the show is going to have the device in it. But as you can see, there's, 10? I don't know what these are called, Blazer medals or whatever they are, just little Ultraman medals. Those are going to be, Comics said they give Power Queen vibes. Absolutely. Basically, there's a bunch of them down here for Legend Ultraman, because just like Rider and Sentai, they do Legend gimmicks all the time. So, like, I think only the one in the top left, I think, is Blazer. And everybody else, it's kind of hard to tell just by the design of them. And also, a lot of Ultraman look very similar. I do know my Ultraman. I'm not as knowledgeable about that franchise as I am Sentai, Rider, and Rangers. But I know that we have, I think, if I could be getting them wrong, but I think we have Blazer, Ultraman, I want to say Tiga, maybe Dyna, or possibly Decker, which we just had, because they're very similar. Not sure which one that is at the top there. Zed, Is there Zero, Belial, Victory, and I think Ginga. I'm pretty confident about the bottom row. But what I understand is that the Blazer medal is going to be in the show, but the other 9 are going to be toy line exclusives. So all of the Legend ones are not going to be in the show, which is an interesting choice to do a Legend Rider or do a Legend Ultraman gimmick yet again, but not have it be in the show. So that's kind of interesting. And I don't know, I'm tempted because like it's a simple device, but what's really neat about it is that it looks like when you put the medals in, it's going to recreate the chest design on the toy, like with LEDs, and like that looks pretty sick. Like, I mean, for like a small little screen, it basically looks like it has, and I know comics probably won't, this won't be a good comparison for you, but it has very similar vibes to the Driver screen from Drive, where it had this LED screen that would spin around and create a new light to compare to whatever gimmick you used. I'm trying to think I don't think there's anything like that for Sentai that they've done. But this is sweet. And also the Driver one for Rider was just a red light. Like every picture that it made was just, it could only do red. Here, obviously, it's multicolored at least red, blue, yellow, and whites, and green, and purple. So like it looks like it could do a lot. And like that looks really clean. Like on the first one here, we have Ultraman. That's the original Ultraman. And then we have Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Ginga. So very popular shows from, I think Tiga was from 1997, and then Ginga was from 2013. All 3 of these make perfect sense, in my opinion, to be kind of the demo ones that they show off here. But Ultraman, it gets me, man, because like I've never once finished an Ultraman series. Sometimes I just can't get into it. But I really like the designs of these of this franchise, and most of the time the toys look pretty cool. I wasn't tempted very much at all by the Decker toys last year. I do collect the little Ultraman vinyls because they're $5 a piece, and I think really good representation for this. But I kind of want this. I like to see what some video reviews and like what sounds that it does in relation to the screens. But I might have to pick this up. The problem with it though is that like, and this shouldn't stop me from making videos, but like, I know the video on this like wouldn't do well. That's why I didn't make a Toku Talks for it or anything like that. And I'm only covering it here in the stream. But I don't know. Maybe I'll clip this part 2 and upload it as a video and just kind of see how it does. I know my buddy Vaughn would really like to see me talk about Ultraman stuff on here, but I don't know. If the views aren't there, I just can't bring myself to have the time to spend the time to make Ultraman content, even though as much as I would like to talk about it to some degree. But I don't know. That looks freaking cool. I had to mention it in some capacity, but I do believe that is the end of the slides that I have, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. And fun fact, just to kind of give you another angle, because I just thought it'd be kind of funny. I have my MacBook sitting on my bed right now, which is how I was able to do the full screen. So I have an alternate camera angle that you guys never really get to see. So that's the full corkboard back there with the amazing Gokai Red art that my buddy Corey made. And if anybody's curious, you can't even read it, but it has all my class schedules on there. It's kind of trippy. I can't like turn around and see myself moving in weird angles. All right, we're gonna stop goofing around with that. But I think that's I know Josh Inception. So I think that's pretty much all the things that I wanted to cover. I always like to try to go for about an hour for these streams, and comics, you're the only person that showed up here tonight. So I hope that hope it was entertaining for you to just kind of listen to me ramble on for an hour. I really, really thank you for stopping in, so that way I'm not just talking to nobody. So I think that was nice to have. And I think that will probably do it, though, because I have some things I'd like to wrap up here. I'm trying to finish up. I have a bunch of school-related things, as I'm sure you know, teaching at a college. I have a lot of not necessarily finals, but just like final projects. Like I have my thesis project to turn in, since I am graduating in 14 days. But that's not too difficult. As a film student, I just have to turn in this film, or 2 films that I worked on as producer. But the good thing is, as producer, my main role was just making sure that they were completed and that they had money to be made. And we have editors who are actually finishing those up. So I've actually been getting some texts while I was doing this stream that the editors are sending me the files so I can actually submit the films and get a grade for them. So that's great because the deadline for them is tomorrow night. So got a lot going on here. So I'm happy that I was able to carve out some time to do a stream like this. I always like doing these streams. I don't know when the May one will be because, like I said at the very beginning of the stream, I have like the first weekend of May is busy next weekend, and then I have graduation weekend, then my birthday weekend, and then like my sister's graduation weekend, and then it's the end of May. So like It probably would have to be the last weekend of May, or maybe I just have to somehow not do one in May or do it during a weekday or something. But we'll see what I can do with that. But that's going to do it pretty much for the April stream. And as Comics said here at the end, want to let you know that I did see the Cobra Kai Pink Ranger figure at Target today or yesterday, and it was the zoomed out version. Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, oh man, like I've been seeing some people tag me in that because one really good thing about Lightning Storms is that they just kind of they help spark like more tweets and stuff and conversation about certain topics like that. So I've been getting people like DMing me being like, hey, here's what my Target has, and I just cannot believe that I didn't notice. Like, I feel really dumb for not noticing that there was a difference in the boxes until the promo shots didn't match. It was the promo shots for Johnny and Miguel not matching that even clued me on in the slightest. And then it was my buddy John, like I said in my Lightning Storm today, who then realized, wait a minute, the other three don't match too. And I still cannot believe that. I cannot think of a reason why that happened. It is so strange. But maybe when Saban buys Power Rangers back from Hasbro, you can go work on the film with the show with him. So yeah, I would like that. To any way I can contribute to my favorite franchise, I would always be down for it. But yeah, totally right. So that we just don't care enough to pay attention. I mean, yeah, that truthfully is what it is. Because like I have given the Cobra Kai's like next to no thought on my mind at all. I don't think they look that great. I think they're rather lazy, and I think they don't serve a point to existing. With that said, like obviously I'm going to buy them because I still want to be Lightning Collection completionist, and I even want to get these box variants. But like, I definitely want to wait for them to be on clearance at the very least. I don't want to pay full. Yeah, no, exactly. If that happened with the Turbo Red figure, we would have noticed immediately. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Vaughn would have been screaming about that, and I'm sure he would have noticed. But like, yeah, what made it so jarring was just when they put Miguel and Johnny on the table and they matched there, but then when they cut straight to that screen that said, "Hey, you can pre-order these on April 21st or April 19th or whatever at Target," and they had the boxes not matched in that one picture, that's when it really stood out to me because I was like, "Well, that's weird." Because when you put them next to each other, then you really do notice it. But when you have any of them anywhere that match in either of the orientations, whether it's the zoomed in one or the not zoomed in one, whenever you have them together like that, you're not really going to notice it. So I don't know. So strange. I still think that the funniest thing about it, honestly, is that I covered it in Lightning Storm last week, specifically in relation to the Johnny Miguel situation. And I could be wrong, but because I do try to read all my comments and Twitter posts and everything, I don't think anybody mentioned to me, hey, did you notice that the original three didn't match until John did? So I just think that's so funny to me because it just really, like you said, it clearly points out that nobody really cares. But I definitely don't need them at all. But if I buy the Skelly Putty and see it at the store, even for full price, yeah, that's true. Because like I do, the Skelly Putties I think actually kind of look cool. That I would army build, especially if I have to buy 2 box variants. And also, it's not perfect because they should have skeleton faces, but they're kind of like the skeleton troopers that the Mighty Morphin Monster Bones had. They're very close to that. So close, in fact, that I'd say that Hasbro could easily just remove the Cobra Kai marking on the back and change the head from a putty to a skeleton face and put them out as Bones' like troopers with like a Bones figure. Then again, that's just probably one of those ideas that like where fans come up with infinitely better ideas than Hasbro ever would do because Hasbro just doesn't want money from us in some cases for some reason. So, but that would be something that they could easily do, which would be really cool to see. But alas, we had them in a Cobra Kai collaboration. So I don't know. But with that, Comics, thank you for stopping by. It was great talking with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're watching this either as a Patreon member after the stream is over, I hope you're enjoying it. And also, if you're watching this a month from now when it's a public video on YouTube, I hope you're enjoying it. And I will definitely be clipping that monster discussion part about Cosmic Fury as its own video at some point. It's not going to be anytime soon, probably. And I'm also going to clip that Ultraman thing and maybe upload that as a video and kind of just test the waters for how Blazer content does and see if I want to maybe dip my toes into that a little bit further. Because the show doesn't come out until July, so it would be a little while until I would really have to or want to do content on it anyway. So we'll kind of maybe just put that as a feeler video, as a test, and kind of see how it does. But all right, well, I'm going to go get back to schoolwork and other channel stuff. And Comics, I hope you have a good night. And I will talk to you and everybody else later. So goodbye, everybody. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey. Carlinific PR, and I'll see you all later.